In this video, part 2 of stick riding, I wanted to go over how do you progress on. In the first video, we just went through on getting your horse comfortable with the stick, riding around at the walk trot, and being able to touch them all over. So now we're going to go into actually just starting to direct the horse. So you want to start off with the stick, bringing it up towards their nose area, their cheek area, and just put little tiny circles and twirls in there. And I'm just going to slowly tap. And see how I tapped on him, and as soon as he tips his nose away, I'm going to quit and I'm just going to rub. And now I'm going to set up another little twirl. So it's just a little tiny circles. So I'm going to twirl, and then I'm going to just start touching him on the cheek or on the nose area. And as soon as he tips his nose away, I'm like, "Aw, thanks, that's it." And then I'm going to ask again. I'm just going to twirl. So we're just using rhythmic pressure here to say, hey, when you see the twirl there, and it's really some energy I'm coming out saying, move away and over. And as soon as he flexes, he's kind of leaning into it a little bit, then so I just keep going. But as soon as he tips away, I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Now some horses you might have to start way out here with it. With him I can come right up here. But you might have to, and this is part of just getting them comfortable with the stick, is out here. But then I'm slowly going to bring it in and say, "Hey, can you tip your nose away?" "Ah, thanks." And can you, and there, if he kind of pushes into it, then I'm going to tap a little firmer because he's not really paying attention to it. But every time he tips away, I release. And when he gives me some good stuff, I'm going to reward him and rub him. Now I take it to the other side, do the same thing. And tap on the nose. "Ah, thank you." As soon as he tips away, I reward. Now, your non-dominant hand's not going to be as accurate, and that's okay. Just develop it, work at it, and you just start twirling, coming in, and I'm saying just tip your nose, move your nose away, and there he's kind of leaning there. "Thank you, buddy." You don't want them afraid of this, so, and like with him, he doesn't really care too much. Some horses are going to be really sensitive to this, so you have to be real subtle with it. It's not about just hauling off and popping them. It's about communicating, saying these twirls mean something's coming, and I want you to tip your nose away from it. We're really looking for lateral flexion here. Is can I get lateral flexion through just using the stick? I have my reins here, so don't get on and just think you can go out without your reins, because if your horse gets bothered, you still want a way to control them. So that was good. He tipped away, and then I come in again, twirling. There, and that's nice. Come back to this side, come on in, saying don't fall asleep. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. That's kind of what you're thinking about. It's, if you want to start out here, you can say it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And there he looked away, so I let him have that, and then I set it up and do it again. And now I'm asking for a little bit more here, because he's just kind of sort of, there you go. And that's how you progress it, is as the horse gets, then you can ask for a little more, be a little more persistent with it. But you want to be able to flex the horse's neck, because this is how you're going to start to direct them. And We're out here in half of the arena I've got fenced off, but if you want, you can do this in the round pen. So that's not too bad. Now I'm going to ask him to just walk around. So I pick up my life. If he's there, great. If not, I reach back and just tap him. And I'm just going to allow him to walk around. So first off is you want to make sure you have forward going. If you don't have forward, it's hard to direct it. So if your life comes up and he's not there, your stick comes in and says, hey, come on, let's go. Now, as you're walking around, kind of notice when your horse wants to go a direction. So we're coming up here and he's going to want to turn off. So when he wants to turn is I'm going to use my outside leg. I'm going to look over where he wants to go, and then I'm going to come in with the stick. So I'll wait until we get over here. So I look off, turn, come on with some outside leg, and then I come in with a little bit of rhythm with the stick and say, hey, let's go this way. There, and there was a tiny bit. So it's everything about me saying, let's go that way. I come on with a little outside leg, and then I come in with the stick and say, let's go that way. And you see I've set my reins down. You can do that if you're feeling comfortable. If not, just keep the reins in your hand. And then allow him to go off again. Just let him go where he wants to go. Don't be directing him all the time. So we're just saying, let's walk. Now I'm going to say, let's go over here. So I turn my body, use a little outside leg, and it's just a little feel with the leg. And then I'm saying, come off there. And as soon as he comes off, I leave him alone, and then I say, let's walk on. He can go where he wants to again. So I'm just asking for a step or two of going in the direction I want, and then I leave him alone. So we're going along, he's thinking about going that way, so I say, hey, I like that idea too, let's go that way, thank you very much. And then I go off with him. And then I'll look off over here with a little outside leg, coming in with the stick, and say, hey, let's go off this way, thank you very much. Keep the walk going, and then I allow him to go where he wants to again. Don't get too caught up in that you've got to direct them every step of the way. So we're going along. Think of you're directing them maybe 25% of the time. So here I'm going along, and then I'll say, oh, let's turn and go this way. Thank you, and then I leave them alone. Other than I'm saying, I need you to walk. And now I'm going to say, can you come to a halt? So I relax my seat, and he came down because we've been playing with, not with the stick, but just without the stick, of him really paying attention to my seat. So that was really good. But if he wouldn't come down, is I could start tipping his nose and just start making a small circle until he comes down, or tip it into the fence till your horse relaxes back down with you. So there, that's good. Now I bring my life up, and if he doesn't come, the stick comes up on his behind and says, let's go. And then I'm going to say, let's go this way. He's leaning into me, so then I'm going to keep the little twirls going, saying, don't push into me. And once the 25% of the time is doing well, you can start asking 50% of the time. So we'll move it up to that now. Saying 50% of the time, I'm going to say, here's where I want you to go. Yeah. So I'm saying stay on the fence. The little left leg comes on to keep him to the fence. And now I'm going to leave him alone. Another way to think of it is whatever side the stick you're using the stick on, that's the leg that you're going to use to say, go that way. It's like you're saying, move your shoulders over that way. Now I'm going to head off towards the fence over there. So my left leg comes on because I've got the stick on his left side. And I'm putting the stick back and forth from one hand to the other hand. Now my right leg says, come on, let's go back to the rail. And we follow the rail along. And then get handy with being able to move the stick back and forth from one hand to the other hand. And then I'm going to say, let's turn, go back over there. So I come on with my left leg, I turn and I focus over there. And I have a specific post that I'm looking towards. And see how I bring my stick from side to side. And then we go along. I first start with a little bit of body language, which is my seat and legs saying, this is where I want you to go. So here I'm going to turn, my leg comes on, and saying, hey, let's head back towards the camera. Straight ahead. Oh, too much. Let's go back this way. Don't lean on me. So if he leans, I'm going to tap a little firmer. I'm going to stay there until he comes off of it. Don't let him push through you. Doing well here. And you can take this on into where you're directing 100% of the time. But instead, I'm going to take him on up into a trot because he's doing so nice here. So I bring my life up and I reach back and tag him on the hind end to say, hey, I want you with me. So now I'm going to go back to just part of the time, less than 25% of the time I'm going to direct him. So I come say, let's go this way. And leave him alone. And then I'm going to say, let's go this way. And I want him to come off of it. There he kind of was just pushing through. So I just stay with him until he actually turns. Until he comes off of it. And let's go this way. Don't lean. So he kind of was pushing into it. Some nice releases there. And so he's doing well, so I keep asking, I start getting a little more particular where I want him. And as you're going along, really try to just flow and go with the horse. Can you soften? Can you relax? So here he's not paying attention because I was saying let's trot. So I just keep tapping until he does. I bring my life up, a little feel with my calves, and then I tap with the stick. And then I say, let's go this way. There he's kind of leaning, he's pressing on me, he's not really coming off. There. And his shoulder followed. So then I release. Oh, that was a little tight, so I'll let him have that. And we'll keep him on the rail now. And there's two places you can hold the stick. You can hold the stick up in the air like this, or if you want to just kind of keep the stick down at your side, either one's fine. Early on, I tend to like to keep it up in the air. It's easier to go from side to side. saying, move this way. And go this way. And now I'm going to ask him to come down, so I relax. He doesn't come down with me, so then I start tipping his nose. I start bending him, which he did there. Then he came down, but I still want him to tip, kind of just flex his nose. And your horse may not do that, so then just put them on a circle and have them go around until they come down. So it's about getting them connected to your seat. When you relax, when you come down, you want your horse to come down. When your life comes up, you want your horse going with you. So there's a lot of different things going on with the stick riding. Is you're really getting them to pay attention to your direction. So I'm saying I want you over there. So not only do I want his nose, I'm actually looking for his shoulder a little bit here, because he's just kind of leaning on me. So there. And I'll skip the shoulder. That's actually a little bit too early for just the shoulder, so I'll walk forward. And that's where it progresses into from here is, can you get more refined in your movements? And he's getting a little bit like, I don't really need to pay attention to that, so I have to get a little bit firmer, because you never want your horse ignoring you and not paying attention to you when you ask for something. So if I come in here and say, hey, I want the nose, I'm going to start off soft and quiet and polite, but then I'm going to get a little firmer if he ignores it. I'm looking for him. Can you keep your nose over there? Keep your nose over there. Thank you, buddy. And go back to where you can, make sure you can always go back and rub their nose with this. So that's part 2 of just getting out there, get to where you can direct them. You're bringing your stick off to the side and coming in from a farther distance and bringing in some energy, some twirl to say, let's go off over this way. But before you even come in with the stick, is you're going to look over there, which rotates your shoulders some, which puts a little rotation in your seat, and then come on with a little outside leg. So think of whatever stick you're using, that's the leg you're going to use to say, go that way. You want them to start tipping their nose and then follow their nose and go in the direction that you want. So getting them to follow that, don't let them ignore your stick. The other thing is getting the halts, as you start getting them to pay attention when you release, when you come down, you want the horse coming. If they don't, put them in a small circle until they do come down. And then that life up. When you say let's go, you want them coming with you. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.